Comfort is the silent killer of growth. Most people in this world don't fail because they're not talented, not because they're not smart, not because they don't have opportunities. They fail because they choose comfort over progress. Comfort feels good. It's easy, predictable, familiar. You don't have to question yourself. You don't have to stretch. You don't have to risk anything. But comfort has a price, and that price is your potential. Every dream you've ever had, every breakthrough you've ever imagined, every version of you that you say you want to become lives outside your comfort zone. And that's why growth is so rare, because only a small percentage of people are willing to step past the edge of what feels safe. Think about it. When in your life did you truly grow? Was it when everything was easy? Was it when you were calm, relaxed, and life was predictable? Or was it during the moments where you were pushed, challenged, uncomfortable, scared, uncertain, stretched to your limits? That's where growth lives. You don't build muscles by lifting feathers. You don't build courage by hiding from fear. You don't build confidence by staying exactly where you are. You grow by forcing yourself to face resistance. Without resistance, there is no strength. Every time you try something new, every time you push a little harder, every time you show up when your mind is telling you to quit, you are training yourself for success. You're conditioning your mind, your emotions, and your habits to operate at a higher level. And the more you stretch, the more you realize something powerful. Discomfort doesn't destroy you. It shapes you. It teaches you. It prepares you for the life you said you wanted. The problem is most people never get there because they stay trapped in the comfortable life, the predictable routine, the good enough mindset. Let me tell you something. Good enough is the enemy of great. We live in a world where people are addicted to comfort. Everything is built to make life easier, faster, more convenient. You don't even have to get up to order food. You don't have to learn patience. You don't have to build resilience. The world is designed to keep you inside a soft bubble where you can avoid effort, avoid discomfort, avoid challenge. But here's the truth. The more comfortable you make your life, the weaker you become. Comfort shrinks your hunger. Comfort lowers your standards. Comfort numbs your drive. And then one day you wake up and realize you've been surviving, not living. You've been existing, not expanding. You've been repeating the same year over and over and calling it a life. That's the cost of comfort. Your dreams don't die in loud moments of defeat. They die quietly, slowly, silently in the space where you choose what's easy over what's necessary. So if you want more strength, more confidence, more success, more fulfillment, you have to be willing to step into discomfort on purpose. You have to train your mind like a muscle. You have to show your body and your emotions who is in control. Every time you choose discomfort, you take back power. Every time you choose effort over ease, you separate yourself from the average. That's how breakthroughs happen. That's how people change their lives. Not by wishing, but by working. Not by hoping, but by pushing. Not by waiting for ideal conditions, but by deciding to grow right now. And I know there are moments when you don't feel like it, moments where you're tired, overwhelmed, unsure, moments where you doubt yourself. But that's exactly when growth is available to you. Anyone can keep going when they feel strong. Anyone can work hard when they're inspired. But the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is what you do when you don't feel ready, when you don't feel motivated, when things are uncomfortable. Those moments define you. Life will never reward you for staying comfortable. It rewards the people who chase progress. It rewards the people who lean into fear, who take risks, who dare to demand more of themselves. So if you're sitting on a dream, if you're holding onto a goal, if you have a life you keep imagining but haven't pursued, stop waiting for it to feel comfortable. It won't. Growth isn't supposed to feel comfortable. Change isn't supposed to feel easy. It's supposed to stretch you. It's supposed to challenge you. Because if it didn't, it wouldn't transform you. Stop waiting for the day you feel ready. Stop waiting for the moment when everything makes sense. Stop waiting for permission. Push yourself. Challenge yourself. Put yourself in situations that force you to evolve. You will surprise yourself. There is a stronger version of you that you haven't even met yet, but you won't meet them in comfort. You meet them in challenge. Your future isn't built by what you say you want. It's built by what you're willing to endure. And if you can learn to embrace discomfort, not hate it, not run from it, but use it, you become unstoppable. Growth is painful. Change is uncomfortable. But nothing is more painful than being stuck in a life you know is beneath you. So step forward, lean in, push harder than you ever have. Because the real you is waiting on the other side of discomfort. The only way to grow is to leave comfort behind. Most people live their entire lives waiting for motivation. They wait for the perfect day, the perfect mood, the perfect burst of energy to finally take action. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. If your progress depends on motivation, you will be inconsistent. You will start and stop, push and collapse, dream big and settle small. The people who win in life do not rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a commitment. Think about how many promises people make to themselves and never keep. I'll start Monday. I'll try again tomorrow. I'll do it when I feel ready. But tomorrow becomes next week becomes next year, and eventually the dream fades, not because they didn't want it badly enough, but because they never developed the muscle of discipline. Discipline is the ability to take action even when you don't want to, even when you're tired, even when your mind is feeding you excuses. That's where success is built, when you move anyway. People say they lack motivation, but what they really lack is standards. When you raise your standards, you don't ask yourself, do I feel like it? You decide, this is who I am, this is what I do. You don't negotiate with your feelings, you act according to your identity. Winners don't wait for the mood, they create the results, and the results create the motivation. Action first, emotion second. There will be days when you don't want to show up. Days where your body feels heavy, your mind feels tired, and everything in you wants comfort. But discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Discipline is doing the work long after the excitement has passed. Discipline is waking up early when your body wants to sleep, studying when your mind wants distraction, training when your muscles want rest, and pushing forward when everything feels uphill. That's how champions are made. Look at anyone who has achieved greatness, an athlete, an entrepreneur, a leader, a creator. They didn't get there because they were motivated every day. They got there because they made a decision. No matter how I feel, I show up. When everyone else stopped, they kept going. When everyone else complained, they put in the work. When nobody was watching, they were still committed. That's discipline. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's often boring, repetitive, and uncomfortable, but it builds character. It builds confidence. It builds a life you can be proud of. Motivation might inspire you, but discipline transforms you. Discipline is what takes a dream and turns it into reality. Discipline is the bridge between wanting and having. People underestimate the power of small, consistent discipline. One workout doesn't change your body. One study session doesn't make you an expert. One day of effort doesn't build a legacy. But discipline repeated daily, stacked, layered, compounded, creates unstoppable momentum. You don't need to be extreme, you just need to be consistent. The problem is most people work hard for a short time and quit when it gets difficult. They mistake temporary discomfort for failure. But discipline is understanding that success is a long game. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency. Someone consistent with mediocre effort will always outperform someone intense with inconsistent effort. Consistency beats motivation. Consistency beats talent. Consistency beats luck. The real battle isn't outside, it's inside. It's between your disciplined self and your comfortable self. And every day one of them wins. Every time you choose discipline, you reinforce the identity of someone who follows through. Someone who finishes what they start. Someone who can rely on themselves And that identity becomes power. It becomes belief. It becomes certainty. People often say, I'm waiting to feel ready. But the truth is, you don't need to feel ready. You need to start. Action creates readiness. Action creates clarity. Action creates momentum. Once you start, your brain follows. Once you move, your energy rises. Once you commit, everything changes. The hardest part is the first step, not the next one. You don't need motivation for the entire journey, just enough discipline to begin. Even the strongest, most driven people have days where doubt creeps in, days where fear whispers in their ear, days where quitting feels easier. But discipline is louder than doubt. Discipline silences excuses. Discipline says, I don't stop when I'm tired. I stop when I'm done. If you build discipline, you can build any life you want. You can learn any skill, overcome any challenge, break any barrier, reach any dream. Without discipline, everything stays a wish. With discipline, everything becomes possible. You become someone you respect, someone others admire, someone who builds a future instead of waiting for it. So the next time you don't feel motivated, don't wait. Move, start, take one step. Prove to yourself that you don't need perfect conditions to create progress. Discipline is doing what needs to be done long after the mood has left you. And when you live that way, you become unstoppable. Discipline is stronger than motivation. Life gives you two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And most people spend their lives trying to avoid the small daily pain of effort, not realizing it eventually turns into a much heavier pain, the pain of staying the same. Discipline might feel uncomfortable. It might feel tiring. It might feel demanding, but the pain of regret is crushing. It's the pain of knowing you could have been more, you could have done more, you could have lived more, but you didn't. You held back. You let fear win. You let laziness win. You let doubt win. And that pain doesn't go away. It follows you. When you push yourself, when you discipline yourself, yes, there's effort, sacrifice, discomfort, but there's also pride, there's confidence, there's momentum, and eventually there's transformation. People think the hard part is doing the work. The hard part is living with the voice in your head reminding you that you quit on yourself, that you settled, that you chose the easier path and paid for it with your potential. The pain of change is temporary. The pain of regret can last a lifetime. You see two people standing in the same spot. One strong, driven, confident, the other hesitant, stuck, frustrated. The difference is not talent or luck. It's the willingness to endure discomfort. The strong one paid the price early. They faced the difficulty. They pushed through resistance. They did the work on the days they didn't want to, and now they enjoy the reward of discipline. The other avoided the struggle, so now they carry the weight of disappointment. The truth is, pain is part of life. You can't escape it. But you get to choose which pain you want. If you choose the pain of discipline, you'll experience temporary discomfort, but lasting freedom. If you choose the pain of regret, you'll experience temporary comfort, but lasting disappointment. The price of success is paid in advance. The price of regret is paid forever. So many people want to change their life, but they don't want to feel uncomfortable. They don't want to feel tired. They don't want to feel uncertain, so they do nothing. They make excuses. They say one day, they say later. They say when things calm down, they avoid the struggle because they think it protects them. But avoiding discomfort doesn't protect you. It traps you. If you don't push yourself, life will push you. If you don't choose discipline, life will choose consequences for you. The bills still come. The opportunities still slip away. The body still breaks down. The relationships still suffer. The dream still fades. Except now, instead of the discomfort of effort, you feel the discomfort of losing control of your life. When you choose discipline, you are choosing power. You are choosing self-respect. You are choosing growth. You are choosing a future. And yes, it requires sacrifice. Yes, it requires focus. Yes, it requires consistency. But there is nothing more painful than looking back and wishing you had tried harder Think about the version of you 10 years from now. That future version will either thank you or blame you. They will say, I'm proud of you for pushing through, or they will say, why didn't you fight for us? Imagine looking at your own potential and realizing you never gave it a chance. That is the pain of regret. And the worst part is, regret usually comes when it's too late to fix it. But the good news is right now you still have time. Right now you have power. Right now you can choose differently. The pain of discipline is small when you compare it to the pain of knowing you wasted your life. Dark mornings, long nights, tough workouts, uncomfortable conversations, hard decisions, all of it hurts a little, but it hurts in a way that builds you. It hurts in a way that earns respect. It hurts in a way that makes you stronger. Discipline hurts now, but regret hurts forever. Every champion, every leader, every great human being you admire has experienced the pain of effort. They've pushed through fatigue, doubt, fear, failure, and frustration, but they made a choice. The pain of discipline is worth it because the reward is freedom, confidence, pride, fulfillment. The pain of regret offers nothing. It only leaves you wondering what your life could have been. And here's something important. Discipline doesn't just make you successful, it makes you peaceful. There is a deep, powerful peace that comes from knowing you are not wasting your life. You can look in the mirror and know you didn't quit, you didn't run, you didn't surrender. You stood up, you tried, you showed up when it mattered. You set a standard for yourself and kept it. That feeling is priceless. So the next time you're tempted to take the easy way out, remind yourself, this small pain today prevents a much bigger pain tomorrow. Every rep, every step, every effort is putting distance between you and regret. You are choosing strength over weakness, progress over comfort, your future over your excuses. The pain of discipline weighs ounces. The pain of regret weighs tons. People overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. That's why so many start strong and fade quickly. They want instant results. They want the transformation without the foundation. But real change doesn't happen overnight. It happens in small, relentless, consistent steps. A little progress every day eventually becomes a lot. The problem is people look at the big goal and get overwhelmed. They think they need to change everything at once. Their habits, their routine, their mindset, their discipline, their lifestyle. And when they can't do it all immediately, they quit. Not because the dream was impossible, but because they didn't understand the power of small daily wins. Success is not one big moment. It's 1,000 small decisions. It's getting up when the alarm goes off instead of hitting snooze. It's choosing water instead of soda. It's reading 10 pages instead of scrolling for an hour. It's going for a walk instead of making excuses. It's showing up to the gym even if you only have 20 minutes. It's working on your craft even when nobody sees it. These small choices compound. Every day you stack one more brick. At first, it feels like nothing is happening. You don't see change. You don't feel different. And that's where most people give up. Small steps feel insignificant, but they're the most powerful steps you can take because small steps build habits. Habits build consistency. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum makes you unstoppable. Think of a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts tiny. You barely notice it, but with every roll, it picks up more snow, more weight, more speed. Eventually it becomes massive. And it all started with something small. If you can just win today, you're already moving forward, not next month, not when life gets easier. Today, 1 hour of focus, one healthy meal, one workout, one chapter, one step. That's how transformation happens. It doesn't feel dramatic in the moment, but over time, your entire life shifts. That's why the greatest weapon you have is consistency, not perfection, not intensity. Consistency. The person who works out 10 minutes every day will achieve more than the person who works out 2 hours once a month. The person who reads a few pages every day will learn more than the person who reads for hours once in a while. The person who saves a little. Every paycheck will have more than the person who only plans to save when they have extra. because consistency compounds. Most people want to feel motivated every day, but you don't need motivation when you have momentum. Once you build a streak, once you start seeing progress, it becomes easier. You feel stronger. You feel proud. You start to believe in yourself in a different way. And that belief becomes fuel. But you never reach momentum if you keep quitting in the beginning. You never experience confidence if you're always starting over. Small wins matter because they prove to your brain that change is happening. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your identity shifts. You begin to see yourself as someone who follows through, someone who takes action, someone who gets things done. That identity is more powerful than any motivational speech, any inspirational quote, or any burst of excitement. Identity drives behavior more than emotion ever will. And identity is built one small win at a time. When you focus only on the big goal, you feel pressure. When you focus on small daily wins, you feel progress, and progress creates happiness. Progress creates energy. Progress creates purpose. It doesn't matter how slow you go, as long as you don't stop. Even one step forward every day will eventually take you to places most people never reach, because most people stop moving. You don't need to be the fastest. You don't need to be the strongest. You just need to keep going, keep stacking days, keep stacking habits, keep stacking wins. At the end of the month, the year, the decade, you'll look back and realize you built something extraordinary, not with giant leaps, but with small daily steps that no one celebrated, no one clapped for, no one even noticed. But you did them anyway, and that is what separates success from regret. So when your mind tells you it's not worth it, that this small action won't matter, that you can skip today and do it tomorrow, remember that's the same voice that has held you back your entire life. You don't need to conquer the world today. You just need to win the next hour, just one small win at a time. Small daily wins create massive transformation. The biggest battle you will ever fight is not with the world outside you. It's with the world inside your own head. Your mind can be your greatest weapon, or it can be your greatest enemy.